Good afternoon and welcome to the Lyre's non-alcoholic cocktail event. I'm absolutely delighted to co-host this event in partnership with the BetterWithout app and Lyre's non-alcoholic spirit company. Now, Lyre's is the world's most awarded non-alcoholic spirit company, and they pride themselves with being impossibly crafted non-alcoholic spirits, which taste exactly like the classics to which they pay homage. Now, there's been a lot of innovation and change in the drinks market, and a lot of this has been driven by a change in consumer behavior. This is often related to age, a desire for wellness, an intention for personalization. And you'll be surprised to hear that even lockdown has impacted on people's relationship with alcohol. Now, before we get into the swing of things, I am delighted to introduce to you my co-host for the afternoon, Mr. Johnny Stevens, who is the founder of the BetterWithout app. And this is the world's first app to be able to discover delicious non-alcoholic and low alcoholic drinks.
Thank you for having me. So, and thank you for Lyre for putting this on. So, as Lauren said, I founded an app that's dedicated for helping people discover low and no alcohol drinks. That's both from discovering them from a flavor, taste, where they're from, but also working into hospitality. So when hospitality does open again, being able to showcase actually where can I get a beer on draft, or where can I get a fantastic Lyre's cocktail or a glass of wine. So yeah, delighted to have launched that. We're just about to launch in the US as well. And as you say, when hospitality opens, we'll also be able to help people discover all these drinks in all your venues. So I think one thing today that we sort of said we'd start is just do some quick introductions. And I think we're still waiting for a couple, but shall we just go around and maybe Abigail, start with you, where you're from?
Hello, my name is Abigail. I am originally from Malaysia, but have been here in the UK for about 17 years now. I work in hospitality for the St. Giles Hotels Group. We have 2 hotels here in London, both totaling about 1,100 rooms, and in New York, in Asia, in Sydney, and in Manila.
Amazing, thank you.
Here. Thank you for inviting me.
Brilliant. And Robin, I'll come to you next.
Yes, hello.
Here you are.
Hello.
I'm 193 years old, originally from Malta. Have got several T-shirts about hotel business and currently preside over a group of about 100 hotels in the UK with a keen interest in where drink trends are going. So eager to learn more about your product. Brilliant.
Thank you. And PB, I'll come to you.
Hi everyone, my name is PB and I've been in London since 2005. I'm a very lucky man. I run a business called Rhubarb and we are a premium hospitality group and we operate some fantastic sites in London and New York. So in London you might have come across the Royal Albert Hall, beautiful music venue, Sky Garden in the city of London, and in New York we run sites at Hudson Yards. And thank you for having me.
Brilliant, thank you. And then we'll come to the team at Lyre's. So Charlotte.
Hey guys, I am Charlotte. I'm one of the UK brand ambassadors for Lyre. I've worked within the hospitality industry for a very long time now, probably about 14 years, which is crazy to think. I was previously, before this, a bartender. So I have worked with liquid for a very long time. I love working with good spirits. So yeah, happy to be on this team anyway.
Brilliant. And Jane.
Hi, my name's Jane O'Keefe. I am the Vice President of Marketing for Lyre's across Europe. I was introduced to Mark about 2 years ago and he explained what he wanted to do, and I think I was on board within the first 10 minutes, right, Mark? So the whole mission is to change the way the world drinks. On a personal level, I grew up in a bar in Ireland. All my family were in the bar business, nightclub business, the rest. So, have sort of put myself through uni working bars, and then worked for Diageo. Then I left the drinks industry for a while as I was consulting myself. But Mark and Lyre have brought me back in, and it's been the ride of a lifetime for sure. So, hope you guys enjoy what we have to share with you today.
Amazing. Thanks, Jane. And finally, Mark.
Thanks, Johnny. Hello, all. Nice to meet you. I think, Johnny, just before I start, you might have missed Chris as well. So we don't want Chris left out.
We won't leave Chris out. Thank you.
Just while I unpack who I am. So, Mark, I'm the CEO and I'm a co-founder of the business. My other founder is trapped in beautiful Noosa in Australia, can't get out. So I've been lapping the planet quite solo for the last few months, including during the pandemic. But we established, as you're now all aware, the world's most comprehensive portfolio of non-alcoholic spirits. And it's a source of incredible pride for us that we're now the world's most awarded. So after, I think next week, Jane, correct me if I'm wrong, we're about to release something that's under embargo. We'll have more than 100 international wine and spirits competition awards to the name of Lyre's within our portfolio. And we also hold the auspicious title of the world's most awarded non-alcoholic spirit. So we're the only awarded non-alcoholic spirit to receive 98 points or more, which puts it into the sublime class of spirits according to the International Wine and Spirits Competition based in London. So we're incredibly proud of all of those accolades. But even more so, I'm very proud of my team, particularly the talent I've managed to attract. And that includes both Jane and Charlotte on this call. Charlotte, because she's an extraordinary liquid chef, and Jane, because she's an extraordinary marketeer. And I'm blessed to have them both on the team. So yeah, looking forward to helping you guys understand the category, understand the opportunity. Very importantly for you guys in the audience that you represent is understanding the profit story and how it fits into a commercial operation such as hospitality, particularly cost per serve and beverage profitability. And we'll take you through where the consumer is heading, both from where we see it as a trade producer, but also where Johnny sees it as someone who's active in the community as well. So very much looking forward to the next 45 minutes or so with you all.
Brilliant. Thanks, Mark. And finally, Chris.
Thank you. I'm the founder of EP and delighted to try and be helping you here today and telling your story. It's fantastic.
Brilliant.
Some great progress over the last couple of years. So I'm really looking forward to hearing everyone's reactions.
Amazing. Thank you. Should we start by making a drink? I think that is a great way of, at least we can all try a drink, and then we will come back to Mark and have a bit of a conversation and learn a bit more about the trends and what's going on.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
No pressure. I think Charlotte is the only expert in the room when it comes to being, as Mark says, a liquid chef. So we're all making do in our kitchens as best we can. So whatever you have, it'll work, including hands, which Charlotte says are really good for squeezing lemons.
Very good, I promise you that. And I think that's the thing. When you're in your home bar, when you're in your own setting, you're the king of the castle. Whatever you produce is going to be delicious. That's what I think anyway. So we're going to start with a really super simple drink, and one of my favorites, and it's absolutely perfect for today. It's going to be Lyre's Amalfi Spritz, which is our take on the classic Aperol Spritz. So to start off, we're going to need to have a wine glass in front of us. Get it ready, and we're going to be using Lyre's Italian Spritz for this, and we're also going to be using the Classico, little can there, and soda water. Three-step ingredients, three-step drink, super simple, and of course super delicious. Is everybody ready to roll? I don't want to go too fast, so please do shout at me if I'm running away with myself, but I promise you this will be get you a drink quick time, and you'll be relaxing and listening to Mark. No problem. So we're going to start with the Italian Spritz, and I don't know if anybody's opened it already and had a cheeky little taste, but this is one of my favorite expressions. It is beautiful, got those really beautiful bitter orange notes in there, rhubarb, and a really good amount of sweetness to balance it out. I'm going to be putting 60 mils in, but I would say that's 2 parts. So if you've got an egg cup, that works perfectly. Whatever measuring device, just use 2 lots of that. Or If you like doing it, if you like to be a real maverick, do it by eye. It is, after all, your drink at home. You get to have whatever you want in there. So I've just popped it straight into the glass. We're going to crack open the Classico and do the same. We're going to put 2 parts in or 60 mils in. This is one of our latest expressions, and I'm super excited for it, and I'm super happy it's here because this is our sparkling wine. It is that beautiful classic Prosecco nose. So we've got really lovely pear drop notes in there, but it's got that fantastic dry white wine base, which I think is just balances everything out and really pairs up so well to the Italian spritz. So we're going to put in 60 ml or 2 parts or however much of a dollop you'd like to put in there. Pour it straight into the glass. And then simply 1 part, 30 ml, or a splash of soda water in on top. Totally super simple. Get a drink on your hands, start enjoying the day. I'm just going to cut up a little orange slice. So just a nice little orange ring, like so. I know I'm really far away from the camera, but like that. And then we're going to grab some ice. I'm going to use my hands because, you know, it's only for me. I'm not fancy in my own house, I promise you that. Although I'm wearing a shirt, I have got shorts on underneath. I've been in the garden. It's been quite lovely. I'm just going to pop some ice in. Make sure it's filled to the top. You don't want anything going all loose here. Perfect. And then finish it off with that big juicy bit of orange just tucked in the side there. And there you have it. Come closer to the screen. I've got this big table in my main home bar, but here we have our Amalfi Spritz. So cheers, guys. Enjoy. I'm looking forward to the session.
And again, you were wonderful. That's sensational.
Glad you like it. Would love to hear people's thoughts.
Tastes like summer. Again, thank you for organizing.
You're also the first people in the UK to be trying Classico. So literally, we haven't launched yet. We're launching the end of April. And these are the first samples hot off the press.
Wow.
Amazing.
Absolutely phenomenal. And Johnny, I wonder, before we start with Mark, you and I were chatting about some of the stats that are flying out there. And, you know, Chris and EP, we always like a good stat. So when we're looking at the change in the consumer and, you know, what people are thinking, what have you found?
Yeah, it's fascinating. As you say, I'm a geek when it comes to trends and looking at what's happening out there and anything to do with food and beverage. And I think for me, obviously, lockdown has provided a massive shift in consumer habits. You know, one thing, a report that came out from Can Media recently said about 23% of people were drinking less as a direct result of lockdowns. Now, one of the things that I keep saying on calls is that, you know, people are drinking less for a number of reasons, whether that's because of health reasons. Actually, the pressure is no longer there because they haven't had to socialize. But obviously, people are going to have tried all these great drinks whilst at home, and then they're going to come back into hospitality. And it's for hospitality to work out how can we make them feel welcome, make sure that we've got more than just sparkling water or orange juice as you know, often you know, some venues only stock. So that is a big one. I think for us, the media often pick up on the trend of young people. I think it's 25% of 16 can't drinks at 16 to 24-year-olds class themselves as non-drinkers. 43% of British women versus 84% of British men want to drink less. So we know that from a consumer trends that it's, you know, it is massively changing. There's often a number that gets bandied around, which is 8.6 million people are what they determine as sober curious. So people that want to try low and no options. So we found very much, you know, BetterWithout, we are not only appealing to people who just have decided not to drink. It may be someone like yourself, PB, who's decided actually not to drink for a certain amount of time, or they're running a marathon, or pregnant. There's a number of different reasons. So it's really fascinating to see. Another stat that came out recently was 53% of people would visit more regularly to a pub or bar if there were better low and no alcohol options. So I've always looked at this and compared it with, if the coffee shops can offer people, a drink, a nice welcoming place, why can't a bar or a pub offer something if people don't want to drink? The low and no options are perfect. And that could be a variety of things, whether that's through, beer on draft or having multiple craft options, the likes of cocktails, Lyres, the different spirits, the wines. And then finally, from a stat that I found quite fascinating recently, this again was coming out from the CAN report, was that 1 in 4 visits to pubs now didn't involve alcohol, and that increases to 1 in 3 in restaurants. So it's fascinating to see what's happening. We know that consumer habits are changing, and how in hospitality can we adopt that?
Absolutely, and I know Mark will answer this because I fall right into the middle of one of your stats. You said sort of 63% of people between the ages of 35 and 54 already have an assumption that it's not going to taste great. So it's this whole re-educating the market, and for Lyres to say that it tastes just like the original that is paying homage to, that's impressive. So Mark, no pressure. I mean, you've already done very well on the Aperol Spritz, Charlotte and Lyres. So I will, Johnny, hand over to you. And
yeah, absolutely. So Mark, I mean, we've spoken before. I guess it'd be good to know a bit more about the range, and as well why you founded Lyres.
Sure. So look, thanks, Johnny. That's a great intro. There's one more stat that I'll add to your sackful there that it's super appropriate for the guys on this call. The vast majority of people, and we're talking 65% or more in both the UK or the United States, stop after having 1 or 2 alcoholic beverages. So there's an incredible opportunity to sell your patrons a second or third drink that's sophisticated, that's elegant, and that elevates their meal or their stay in one of your properties. If it's a non-alcoholic cocktail or beer or wine. So it's an extraordinary opportunity from a commercial perspective. And it's an extraordinary opportunity, I think, to do what we've all done and why we've joined the industry that we're in, and that is to provide hospitality, to be welcoming to guests, to make people feel welcome and at home, and to give them options that delight them. The sorts of things that Charlotte's capable of doing behind a bar, a lot of people can't do at home. And that's one of the wonderful experiences with regards to coming to a hospitality property, is you're constantly being delighted, not only by the decor or by the cuisine, but also by the drink options there. And if we are not providing that wonderful elevated experience to the people who are electing not to consume alcohol for whatever their reason, it's a real missed opportunity to round out that experience when they do visit one of your venues. And it's something we've been very passionate about helping provide a toolkit to provide. So Lyres is around 2 years old. We first went on sale in Australia. You can probably hear that in my accent if you have a keen ear for accents, in July of 2019. The first question I get asked a lot of the time is, what the hell is an Australian doing starting a non-alcoholic beverage business? We thought you guys are at the opposite end of the spectrum. And it turns out that for the most part we are. I think we share that territory with the Brits and the South Africans, and definitely with the Irish by reputation. But the world is changing, and the way consumers approach the sophisticated adult beverage category is also changing as well. And people do still want beers and wines and spirits, but there's a rising demand for people to have those in either a low alcohol format or a no alcohol format. So we began developing this. We saw this opportunity, and there's a little bit of resonance with regards to our lives personally, which I won't unpack for now because the data is a much stronger story than my own lived experience. But we saw the opportunity, and we took a very different path to what most of the early movers in the category did. And people were making very novel products, gins that had gin or gin style products that had a unique flavor profile. and they were typically providential. So they were expressive of a part of the world that the beverage came from. So this is the ingredients I find around myself in Islay or in Melbourne or in New Zealand. And then there were also personal expressions. These are the recipes that I think people will enjoy, and I hope they buy my product. So we started with a very, very different hypothesis in that, you know, people of drinking age had developed palates already, and they enjoyed flavors and wanted to chase those flavors that they were already accustomed to. So we set about creating a range of spirits, and our objective was to deliver a range that could help the trade and people at home create the world's top 50 selling cocktails. And we've been, for the most part, successful. We have a range of 13 spirits. And as you've just learned, we also have this guy on the way, which is our non-alcoholic Prosecco. So we have a range of 13 spirits, and with those 13 spirits and our Prosecco, you can recreate 42 of the world's best-selling 50 drinks in the on-trade globally. And that's another achievement that we're extraordinarily proud of, because we've almost finished our mission of being able to offer a portfolio that allows people to fill in that top 50. And look, we started to create these products, and it's always been our mission to get as close as possible to the original. And in order to do that, we unpacked all of the beverage technology, all of the production techniques, all of the things that were available to us in order to bring a non-alcoholic beverage as close as possible to a 40% ABV original, like a classic bourbon or a gin. And it's an extraordinarily difficult task, but it's what has separated Lyre's from the rest of the market and brought us far closer in proximity to the original. And I like to help people understand how close we are by saying, I believe that we're closer than Diet Coke is to Coke with regards to our beverages, than, you know, that very, very famous marquee brand that I've just spoken about. So we took a very different approach. We didn't use traditional distillation and then de-alcoholization. We did look at that. But when you remove alcohol, and I'm sure you guys have tried non-alcoholic beers and non-alcoholic wines that leave you a little wanting with regards to the flavor profile and so on. So what we found is that when you de-alcoholized a traditional spirit, alcohol is such a powerful solvent that it carried so much of what gives that beverage character. When you remove it, it carried so much of those characteristics with it. And you ended up losing mouthfeel, and you ended up losing flavor intensity. And you were left with an insipid, watery beverage. And we thought that that was a very uninspiring thing to offer people. So we threw that technology out, and we didn't throw it all the way out. We still used de-alcoholization of distillates to make our product. But we began with a blank piece of paper and said, if we were to use all of the amazing technology available to us in the world of beverage engineering, if we were to ensure that all of our ingredients were 100% natural, if we were to ensure that the range was 100% vegan, and if we were to ensure that the range remained low calorie, what could we create? And the result is Lyre's. And this took us approximately 2 years to perfect our range. And we set ourselves 2 very high watermarks to jump over. So number 1 was we wanted the beverage to be closer in proximity than Diet Coke is to Coke, because we believe that's where the market had set its expectation of a facsimile of an original. The second barrier that we wanted to jump over is we needed to ensure that the beverages could be used exactly like their alcoholic counterparts. And this was really important for 2 reasons. My background is marketing and advertising, and my clients are some of the biggest multinational beverage companies in the world. And we've learned about their businesses via osmosis, and we've learned about businesses like yours via osmosis. And so we understand the importance of delivering profit per serve and profit per beverage, and how to just construct a profitable beverage menu. So all of that pushed into this ideal that we needed to be able to deliver. We wanted Lyre's to be able to be handled like the alcoholic original. And you simply substitute what you know how to do already, what your staff know how to do behind the bars. And they can substitute a Lyre's product 1-for-1 for the alcoholic original to make a non-alcoholic facsimile of a cocktail or mixed beverage that's either an original creation of one of your hospitality staff members or venues, or is a classic. And Charlotte's going to take you through some classics and potentially some originals today. But all of our products can be used 1-for-1 with regards to the alcoholic original. And that provides two things. One, incredible profit per serve. A lot of the non-alcoholic gin facsimiles require a double shot in order to get cut through of the tonic, which, because it's a fairly insipid flavor profile. So that destroys profitability per beverage. And two, it places an extraordinary training burden on food and beverage providers like yourselves. So it was very, very important for us that we solve for that with the provision of our beverages. And once we achieved that point, we were ready to release. So as mentioned, we do have the range of 13. That allows you to substitute. If you've got standing menus, it allows you to simply offer what you're already offering in a non-alcoholic format. It allows you to offer classics that people may ask for over the bar. And it allows you to offer non-alcoholic options in a profitable and easy manner. So we're particularly proud of the liquid construction on the way through. So I think Johnny has very, very succinctly unpacked the consumer opportunity. I hope I've talked to why we've made the beverages like we've had with regards to the trade. And Lauren put into words sort of one of our raison d'etre, which is we're an impossibly crafted brand. And I know that sounds like a little bit of marketing fluff on the way through, but it really comes to life when you deliver somebody an Aperol Spritz style beverage like you've just had, and people look at us and say, that's impossible. How do you make this taste exactly like the alcoholic original? And that's where our impossibly crafted moniker comes from. We want to deliver those moments of disbelief that this isn't an alcoholic product, that you can deliver a product equally as sophisticated, as elegant, that elevates a hospitality experience like our brand does. And I like to think that we've achieved that. Now, the only job left to do is for us to sell it. While you guys are here.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, that's incredible. Thank you so much. I'm aware of time. I just want to say a huge thank you, Mark, Jane, Charlotte, you're sensational. And like I said, we've learned more than just about making cocktails. So thank you for sharing all your knowledge. Johnny as well. I know there were a few that desperately wanted to be here. So we'll be able to organize separate sessions with you and Charlotte to chat through with them as well. So thank you so much for your time, Mark. Genius. As a South African, and as a skeptic, absolute genius. So thank you so much for changing all of our minds.
You're entirely welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed, Lauren. And PB, Chris and Abigail, thank you so much for your time and putting some time aside to listen to our story.
Thank you so much. It's been an amazing experience.
Thanks, Lauren and Johnny, for organising. It's been lovely meeting everyone.
Absolutely. And you. We will see you again soon.
See you again soon.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.